Good morning and welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I am Funmi Omoburiu. ICSAN is a leading recognized professional body in Nigeria that's dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. Today on the program, we want to look at compliance as a key principle in corporate governance. Okay, and our guest this morning is live in the studio with us, Miss EIRENE IDUNG, ACIS, immediate past mobilization secretary of AKWA IBOM State Chapter of ICSAN. Good morning, Miss IDUNG.
Good morning, Funmi. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for joining us on the program this morning. And also right here in the studio is Mr. Ketefe, CIS, Head of Research, ICSAN. Good morning, Mr. Ketefe.
Good morning, Funmi. Good morning to you, our guest, Ms. EIRENE IDUNG, ACIS, and all our teaming listeners. Good morning to you.
All right, we're going to take this message and we'll be right back.
The world is constantly evolving into a knowledge-based economy where skills and competencies constitute the lifeblood of public and corporate governance. You therefore need to empower yourself to fit into this new world by gaining basic knowledge and improving your skill set in the governance-focused disciplines. That is why every aspiring as well as practicing professional in governance field needs ICSAN.
ICSAN. What is ICSAN?
ICSAN is a leading statutorily established professional body dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. ICSAN members are trained as chartered secretaries and administrators.
Who are chartered secretaries and administrators?
Chartered secretaries are high-ranking governance professionals with a broad base of skills, unique amongst other professions. They are trained in law, finance, accounting, administration, strategy development, and corporate governance. In today's world, chartered secretaries and administrators discharge a wide range of duties and responsibilities, including functioning as chairmen of companies, executive directors, non-executive directors, company secretaries, risk managers, compliance managers, board evaluators, and corporate governance evaluators.
That is interesting. How then do I become a chartered secretary and administrator?
Good. Go to the Institute's website, www.icsan.org. You can also visit the National Secretariat of ICSAN at Plot 6, Elephant Cement Way, Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, to get full information on how to become members. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Arrest Corporate Governance Platform right here. As I said earlier, we're looking at compliance as a key principle in corporate governance. And let's begin this way, Ms. IDUNG. What exactly does the term compliance refer to?
All right. So compliance simply refers to adherence to laws, regulations, ethical standards, principles, as well as specifications relevant to a particular business or the industry in which the business operates in. Now, let's say, for instance, a financial institution, it's supposed to adhere to comply with laws relating to the financial sector. So let's say the banks and adhering to the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, regulations, prudential guidelines by the CBN, and international best practices. So just call it that compliance is about adhering to those principles and even the internal policies put in place by the company.
All right, great. Now, why is it important? Why is it such an important issue in corporate governance?
Okay, so compliance actually affects everything in a company.
Okay.
And knowing that corporate governance refers to the system of rules, practices, and policies that are put in place to direct and control the company, compliance is at the core of it, because it has many reasons why it is important in corporate governance. So let's say number one, the major thing would be that the company shows that the company is a good and responsible corporate citizen. So by adhering to the policies, by adhering to the guidelines and the laws provided by government agencies and regulatory agencies, it shows that the company is a good corporate citizen. And another reason why compliance is important is that it promotes transparency. It promotes transparency, and which boosts stakeholder confidence. When we talk about stakeholder, we are talking about the shareholders, we talk about customers, we talk about consumers, we talk about employees. So it boosts the confidence that, yes, the company is doing the right thing. And also, compliance has to do with assessing risk and looking for ways to mitigate risk that may occur. So if there's a good compliance, a sound compliance system in place, then that means that the company will be able to assess its risk and also mitigate those risks before they even occur. And then we talk about operational efficiency. So let's say a company doesn't comply with the regulations, for instance, paying of tenement rates, ground rates, and then there's a seal-off. So that will cause a disruption in operations. And also, when policies are put in place, the policies help the organization to operate efficiently.
Okay. Now, it's said that non-compliance can spell doom for an organization. Mm-hmm. I want you to explain this statement, of course, still in the context of corporate governance. Of course, you'd explain why compliance is an important issue. But when we now say non-compliance can spell doom, for an organization, I want you to expatiate a bit on that.
Okay, that's saying doom. It's like consequences, the consequences of non-compliance. And when we talk about the consequences of non-compliance, the glaring one would be sanctions, payment of fines. And when we talk about payment of fines and sanctions, we can look at maybe a financial institution. I'm using a financial institution because I'm more in the financial sector.
Okay.
Yes. So when you look at sanctions, it could be a suspension of license, it could be revocation of license where there is non-compliance, and then there are fines, payment of fines, which will also dovetail into financial losses. So the company will incur more losses when there is non-compliance. And apart from the company as a whole, it also affects the individuals, let's say the officers of the company, that's the directors, even the company secretary, the compliance officer, who is supposed to make certain reports or returns and is found liable. So there's a personal liability. And also, we mentioned this about operational disruptions earlier. So yes, if there's a seal-off, or if there is, if there are sanctions, revocation of license, disruption of business activities.
All right. I want you to, expatiate on the kind of compliance legal compliance, corporate governance compliance, and ethical compliance. What is meant by each of them?
Okay. For legal compliance is about adherence to the laws, regulations, and legal standards which are set by governments and regulatory authorities. Yeah, so it's like adherence to industry-specific regulations. Corporate governance compliance, on the other hand, refers to adherence to frameworks, policies, internal policies that have been put in place by a company to ensure that to monitor to monitor the activities of the company. And then for ethical compliance is about the moral principles, and I would term this one as the spirit of the law. So in the legal compliance, we're talking about like the letter of the law. But when we talk about the ethical compliance, we're talking about the spirit of the law. What's the intent of the law? That's how I would explain the different types of compliance.
All right, and I would like to ask the advice you have for companies and other organizations on the issue of compliance.
Okay, my advice to companies on the issue of compliance. Companies are meant to know that compliance is intentional. Compliance should be intentional. It should be holistic and also systematic. And how do we go about this? It starts from the tone from the top. When you talk about tone from the top, you're talking about the directors, the board of directors, and the top management. So there should be a compliance culture. And the companies should also ensure that they have what I would call a compliance universe. A compliance universe has to do with all the laws, all the regulations relating to a particular business. So that companies should ensure they have compliance universe that they review from time to time. And also there's a need for training, continuous training, not just for particular staff members, but also for the entire staff, because compliance is everyone's responsibility.
All right, thank you so much. And Mr. Ketefe, she's talked about training. Yeah. Does the Institute organize training for organizations on the theme of compliance?
For me, that's a very good question. And the answer, of course, is yes. Apart from the numerous programs that the Institute has, which examine diverse themes on corporate governance, including the topic we are treating, the issue of compliance, the Institute also has a very vibrant training department that churn out numerous courses on the subject matter of compliance annually. If you look at the calendar of the training department, you will surely see many training that are specifically designed to promote knowledge and to boost capacity of participants to impart them with necessary skill on the subject matter of compliance. That is in addition to other teams on corporate governance. As the Institute has a training department that offers training on virtually all issues, all principles on corporate governance. Having said that, the training department's responsibility is of twofold when it comes to promoting knowledge. The first is the periodic training which I've already talked about, that features in our training calendar from time to time. The other one is the specialized, bespoke training that we offer for specifically for companies and organizations that request for it. So, in a nutshell, to your question, does the Institute organize training for organizations on the theme of compliance? The answer can be confidently answered in the affirmative. So, for any information on ICSAN training, please, we want you to call Anita on 070-11-300-59. For any information on ICSAN training, please call Anita on 070-11-300-59. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ketefe. We have an announcement, I guess.
The announcement that we have for our listeners this morning is on the ICSAN December Diet Professional Qualifying Examination. This is to inform the ICSAN existing and prospective students that the registration for the Institute December Diet Professional Qualification Examination is ongoing. The lecture for the said diet has already started. The examination itself is scheduled to hold on Tuesday, 3rd, and Wednesday, 4th of December 2024. So for prospective students, you are hereby advised to take this opportunity to begin your professional journey to become a chartered secretary and administrator. It is a profession that is relevant and useful in this present and the future. For more information on the Institute's professional examination, please call Yinka on 080-6589-7280. For more information on the ICSAN professional examination, please call Yinka on 080-6589-7280. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kadikete ACIS, Head of Research ICSAN, and also Ms. EIRENE IDUNG, ACIS, Immediate Past Mobilization Secretary, AKWA IBOM State Chapter ICSAN. Thank you. It's wonderful having you.
Thank you for having me.
Right here. And that's how we'll wrap it up this morning on Corporate Governance Platform, brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. We're back again next week, Wednesday, 10:15 a.m. on a fresh edition. I am Funmi Omoburiu.
Good content. Exciting radio. Now you have a reason to listen to us. This is the new Echo 89.7 FM.
The station